in the wet, FIA F4, brilliant car for learning on a simulator with, not just in the wet but in any conditions, because it's got no traction control or ABS. It's got a decent amount of aero and grip, but it's not stupidly fast in a straight line, so you don't arrive at the corners without time to process what you're doing. But really what I want you to see in this circular Algarve here is just how good the wet weather model is from iRacing. iRacing have done a brilliant job here. It's the best software for simulation for relevance to real world drivers anyway, but the wet weather model they brought in has just put that to a whole new level, because unlike other softwares, when you're in the wet mode in wet weather, they tend to just be graphics changes. This one isn't. This is more about the grip levels and the varying. So you'll notice I have to go wide. If I try and pull it in too early into some of these corners, I lose a ton of grip. And also the track changes its grip level, so you have to adjust all the time. You've got to keep your wits about you. You can't just drive to a routine and hope that's going to work. You can't just get more and more heroic with the brakes and hardly lose any time. You get heroic with the brakes now in the wet, just like in the real world, it costs you much bigger, because there isn't the grip to get the car to turn and slow. The only thing you have to be careful, particularly in driving this car, the FIA F4 car, which is, as I say, brilliant, is especially in the wet, the old turbo comes in quite strong at the top end. So you've got to be a bit careful with your power timing and your gears, so that you're not in a point where the boost suddenly comes in when you're already on a slide, because the next thing you find is that you're facing the wrong way very quickly. But all it is just anticipating that, just like you would in the real car, maybe going up a gear or being a bit more gentle with the throttle. Just feeling for the grip there. We caught the puddle, you see. A bit wider and that wouldn't happen. That slide I just had there, and I'd have had more grip. And that's what I mean about having your wits about you when you drive, just like we do in the wet, in the real world. I'm a little bit of a wuss with the brakes into here. Always tend to leave a little bit in hand. But there's definitely time to come under braking there if I really had to find something. So big puddle just here on the inside. Mega this corner, absolutely awesome. So hopefully you're getting a good feel or an idea of just how good, how valuable a simulator can be, because it's no longer just about the flow and the concentration, it's also having, in the wet particularly, just like we do in the real world, having the ability to adapt, or having the confidence to adapt your driving and to read what the grip levels are like, adjust your car accordingly. I had to back out the throttle then because that momentum was starting to take me. So although I'm giving away time there, I had no choice. The car was sliding too much, so my only option there was to come out the throttle more, but not too much, otherwise I'd have a bigger slide. Oh, might be a bit late with the old brakes here. Inside front's trying to lock. You have to go wide. Come back on after the painted surface, otherwise it's just going to have me. So just got to yield that. Anyway, I think that should give you an idea. It gets boring if I just keep driving around, but I'm going to carry on, and I hope you find it useful.